Hello, everyone. The challenge of a Fred Talk is 5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes in which 2 stories, 2 crucial questions, 1 declarative statement, and an image of possibility I hope to leave you with. Let me start by telling you the story of the Renaissance Arts Academy. This is a middle high school in a tough district of Los Angeles. They have exactly the same kids that every tough district school in Los Angeles has, but they do something different. They have 2 intensive after-school programs that every kid joins. One is an after-school 5-day-a-week orchestra. One is an after-school 5-day-a-week dance company in which kids dedicate serious energy at the end of a school day, at the time when kids are playing, at the time when kids are doing homework. They are working in orchestra, and they've started to develop a really good orchestra and a dance company that has developed its own following. It doesn't make any sense that these kids would be doing better academically than some other kids, but here's this school putting all this energy into intensive mastery-based arts learning at the end of a school day. And Renaissance Arts Academy is the highest achieving academic school in the Los Angeles Unified School District. Why? There's our question. Why? There's a research project from Harvard Project Zero called The Qualities of Quality, which asks the question, what makes for powerful arts learning? It's a long report that I don't recommend you read, but in fact, it comes to a conclusion in the middle that answers that question about Renaissance Arts Academy, and it has this sentence: by far and away, the greatest determinant of quality in arts learning, and I would say we could even change that sentence to read, by far and away, the greatest determinant of quality in learning is the motivation of the learner. Mastery-based arts education work is in the intrinsic motivation business. A sentence popped in my mind when I was taking a shower the very day I was reading that Project Zero report, and this was the sentence, and you know it to be true in your own life experience. The moment you make a complete commitment to something, everything changes. That is what it takes for kids to take the many positive benefits of arts learning and turn them into what we just heard, transformative experiences. Not just good experiences, not just positive experiences. It takes the intrinsically motivated, wholehearted commitment of wanting to gain mastery in something for all that good work to actually become transformative, to achieve the goal we all know is possible in our gut, that the arts learning is incredibly powerful in potential, but somehow in the way it's delivered, it doesn't achieve this full reordering of the trajectory of kids' lives until the kids make a personal commitment to go for it. That's what mastery-based learning does. I want to speak my enthusiasm for this initiative from the Cleveland Foundation. To me, it is the pulling together of what we have learned from research in the last 20 and 30 years in arts education as to what really matters. It has been pulled together and a stake has been planted in the ground. And to me, it is thrilling to see an organization that has a history of taking leadership initiatives say, this is what we know, and we invite our community to take advantage of it. Let me say one other thing. This would be the first in the United States where a significant cultural organization has planted that stake in the ground and says, we know what the arts can do for our kids, but only if we go for the full reach of it can it have the power that we all intuit that it can. So it's powerful for me to be a part of encouraging you to follow that offer of a lead. I have not seen it in my lifetime in the US, and I'm glad I lived to see it, and I'll remember and tell the story that it happened here in Cleveland. I want to bring toward a close with another example. This comes from a young man I met, 30-year-old man I met in Colorado. He was as a part of an El Sistema program, like your Rainey El Sistema program, and he was a teacher in it. And I got talking to him, and he said he grew up in El Sistema, Mexico, in Mexico City. I said, tell me about your life. And he said, well, it was a dangerous barrio. And me and my 4 friends, we were like this posse of 5 guys that joined the orchestra when we were little. And we went there every single day. We were the guys in the orchestra. And we spent our whole growing up years as friends in the middle of an orchestra. And I said, gee, what happened to your friends? And he thought for a minute, and he said, well, let me see. One of them's a priest. One of them is a lawyer. One works in a business. One started a business. And I just got my PhD in musicology. 5 kids from one of the world's most dangerous barrios, the percentage that any one of them would have escaped and actually found a different life trajectory, those percentages were low. The chance that 5 out of 5 would take the learning of intensive mastery-based dedication as friends and as young artists, and it would rocket them in 5 different directions to have lives that are full of potential. That's what we're talking about when the Cleveland Foundation plants this flag for others to follow. Imagine if that could happen here, where every kid who now has some experience of arts education were given the invitation to go for it, and encouraged and supported to go for this idea of mastery, of recognizing yourself in a tradition of greatness that is difficult, that requires grit and years of dedication and self-assessment of getting better as you approach something that everyone recognizes as consequential. Imagine how many the trajectory of how many young Cleveland kids' lives can be redirected through just that project. I want to close with a pretentious quote from Plato, who said, there is one thing a society must accomplish above all others if it's going to succeed. And that one thing it's got to accomplish doesn't have to do with economies or governance or social structures. The one thing a society must accomplish if it's going to succeed is to teach its young people to find pleasure in the right things. There is no right or right thing, and you know it, than a young person's commitment to make stuff she cares about in the belief that she can get really good at this and that the world wants to receive what she's got to offer. That's the idea that has been offered here, and all the way back to Plato, that is what it takes for a society to succeed. I actually begged an extra 2 minutes to show you a film. So I'm going to show you a film that gives you a sense of the work of El Sistema in Venezuela. This is a series of clips taken by a student of mine who traveled around Venezuela, a mastery-based program for 500,000 kids that starts with 2-year-olds in a neighborhood, that builds to 3-year-olds working in an ensemble with their families, that grows into kids playing paper violins because they can't afford wooden ones, that grows into a beginner orchestra for 3- and 4-year-olds. Now they're starting to work 10 to 15 hours a week. That grows into an orchestra that's working 15 to 20 hours a week. Mixed abilities, as you can hear. That grows into an orchestra of kids that work 20 hours a week in their orchestra. And they never forget fun. 10-year-olds playing Tchaikovsky. Barely teenagers playing like a master orchestra, building to the Simon Bolivar Symphony Orchestra, one of the 5 best in the world, and still having fun. This is their teachers demonstrating the music for them, and it doesn't show it, but 500,000 kids in Venezuela are playing in youth orchestras, and
Brava!
thank you.